So now we're going to move into more isometric focus. And if you recall from the book and our previous lectures, we talked about yielding isometrics, or things going with gravity. Fighting that gravity is going to be more translatable to increasing the deficit. Why? Because we're increasing that tighten formation at length. Thinking about force length, we're increasing the length, we're increasing sarcomeres at length, aka longitudinal hypertrophy, and now we're trying to increase the actual function of that sarcomere at length by adding more titin, or the connective tissue within that sarcomere. Now we're going to move into a yielding focus, and there's two different ones we're going to go through. We're going to open up with a 3-position deadlift, right? So one of the nice things about anything we're looking at 3 positions is we're going to tax a position of strength and all the way through a position of maybe weakness, right? That longer length or really short length is going to go into that inverse relationship with force. So as we look through where I'm strongest and weakest based off mechanical advantage or disadvantage, we can start to find areas to make improvements with. And we see this all the time with methodologies like weightlifting or even powerlifting, is strengthening parts of the movement, right? It's in a sense like a partial range movement with a big focus through that entire range. Other big part is deadlifts are really good for increasing the deficit, right? And it goes back into that concept we talked about with Stu McMillan and increasing that deficit, relatively speaking, to the short to long progression, right? That person that likes to deadlift is the person we're going to finish with that long progression. So the athlete that has a really back end kick, deadlifts are really a big part of that. And sometimes we find that the squattier body type like myself, a mesomorph, they're going to be in that position. They're going to struggle with things like deadlifts. They're going to be better at things like squat. Doesn't change the fact that it translates a little bit better by doing more deadlift patterns. And we'll talk about other stuff like weight release hooks down the road, and maybe a squat's better for that. But for things like isometrics, like a yielding focus, maybe, just maybe, a deadlift off the ground would be better. Now imagine I have some plates here. Imagine I'm going to use a snatch grip position. So I'm going to get down on the bottom. Concentrically, I want to get up because I don't want to make too much of a focal point on concentric here. Where I really want to start to push that stress or that focal point is the eccentric. So I stand up, and now I'm in the top position here. First position is going to be mid-thigh. And I'm going to hold this here for anywhere for 3 to 5 to maybe upwards to 8 seconds. And now there's going to be an inverted relationship for the time I spend in each one of these positions to how many reps I can do. So as we start to move through some of these positions, maybe I do an 8-second eccentric in position 1, position 2, position 3, and then down probably means I'm not going to be able to do as many reps. It might mean a single. It might mean two or 3 reps. But the key being is if I want to do a 3-second pause in position 1, 2, 3, I might have an opportunity to do more reps. And you as the coach have to determine why and when you might do that. And I might tell you, hey, maybe athletes that are a little bit new to this do really better with shorter isometrics in a yielding fashion and doing more reps. Athletes with more experience, who maybe have a little bit more familiarity with something like this, might do better with an elongated isometric in each 3 of those positions. But the key being is now I'm in a position where I have a mechanical advantage down to a mechanical disadvantage, pausing each one and seeing what I got. And you might find that athletes change their body position, start to adjust their foot position. They're trying to find that position of mechanical advantage. So as you're going through this, it's a great teachable moment. Because what's going to happen when they start to lose their position in this controlled environment probably means when they get to that range, when they're trying to change direction, is not going to be there. Right? So imagine that I get to this really mechanically weak position, and I'm at a lengthened position, and then all of a sudden I start to round, and I start to cave. That's a very constrained environment, and now I'm exhibiting maybe a potential or an opportunity to improve and make some sort of transfer opportunity to learn when I'm doing things like change direction. And we want to get to those athletes of saying, that's why we're doing this. We have a larger bandwidth, and it's more transferable to things that we need to be able to do on the field. And that's the concept we always got to keep teasing out, because this is a specific program, right? We're working specificity. We're bridging that gap from general to specific, making that one last-ditch effort to peak for the things they need on their field. So yielding isometrics, 3 position.